Hello and welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are so inclined. In today's video, we're taking a look at these, the ASTRO A40 with the MIXAMP Pro. Now combined as a unit, this thing comes in at 250 USD and the same in UK pounds. At that price, it ought to be pretty good, so let's take a look. So let's start at the top and work our way down. The headband itself is made of a very flexible plastic, so the chances of you actually breaking it are quite slim, because it's not very, what's the word? Brittle. That's right. It's very flexible, and I kind of like it. And the cushion itself on the inside, which is, by the way, replaceable. You can get a mod kit, but that is sold separately for a few extra pounds. But the cushion on the one that comes with it is very soft. You don't feel any kind of point loading across the top of your head or anything like that. It just cushions it very, very nicely for you. Now, coming away from the plastic, there's this massive aluminium tube where they've left the cut exposed, and I do kind of like that little feature. And on the inside there is a slit down it, and you can see the coiled wire for when you raise and depress the actual size of the headset itself. And you will see at the side there are these black markers, so you can get them both even, or at very least to a setting that you know what you need to do with them. Coming away from the aluminium, there is yet more plastic, and there's this plastic housing that wraps all the way around, and we'll come on to as to why very shortly. And the wire again is exposed there. On the outside of the ear cup, these little plates are in fact replaceable. Much like the top, it is part of the mod kit that is a few extra pounds, and I kind of like that. They are magnetic, but one feature that this has, which I really do appreciate, other than the magnetic clips, the microphone on the left ear is detachable, and it is a 3.5mm connector. Now, more importantly than that, you can take the plate off and you'll see there is the porthole there for the connector. There is also one on the other side, on the right ear, so you can simply switch over these plates and then put the mic in the right ear should you choose to. Now, I don't really care, to be honest, but I kind of like that you have the choice. I think that's really kind of cool from Astro. Now, as much as they're magnetic, so are the actual cushions themselves. Now, these things are very nice. Again, you can replace these, and they are part of the mod kit, which again is a few extra quid. But the ones that come with it are very comfortable anyway. It's kind of a nice airy material, and the actual shape of it is offset to account for the shape of the head, which is good to see a bit of ergonomics going with it. And on the inside of the actual driver housing itself, it is covered with this nice velvety cushioned feeling, so if your ears do go on the inside, you don't experience any pinching or anything like that. It's just very comfortable, and they feel very premium when they're on your head. Now, these things come in at about 350 grams with the wire, because these are not a wireless headset, but they're very comfortable. They're very comfortable. I like them a lot. Now, the reason that this plastic housing wraps all the way around and doesn't just hold at the centerpiece here, where these do rotate, is simple. It would flex too far back and the exposed wire would in fact snap. So having this plastic housing wrap all the way around acts as a blocker. Now, the downside with that is you do get a bit of rattle, and I don't like hearing rattle when I'm paying at least $250 for a headset. That does annoy me a little bit, but I understand it. I understand the way that it was engineered, and I understand why it's put together like that. Now, these things are very nice. On your head, they feel very comfortable. Like I said, there's no point loading across the top, and it just feels like these are just suspended very nicely, and the ergonomic shape of the ear cushions themselves are very nice. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now, moving away from that, we do have the MIXAMP. Now, this thing I do like. If you don't already have a little setup like this for your headset, then it's very cool to have this kind of thing. You can connect it via micro USB. I know it's micro USB, and that's irritating. You can also connect it via the optical cable, or the Toslink, which is what I use just for the DTS, and it's nice and easy to set up, but it doesn't have a pass-through with it. So if you do have a sound system, much like I do, and you're running into this, there's no pass-through out to the sound system, which is, for me anyway, kind of irritating. Now, this one is the PlayStation 4 edition, and it also works on the PS5, and you have a little switch to decide which it is that you're using. So you can use this on PC and just simply flick the switch for it to work with the PlayStation, which is, again, is kind of cool. I like the way that that's put together. The MIXAMP part is basically the game and voice. Now, I've said multiple times in videos, I very much appreciate this. Having the ability to turn my friends down on the fly if I'm playing Warzone or another FPS game and they're all talking in the background and I need to listen, it's just nice and easy to turn it down. I very much appreciate that. And the dials themselves feel premium. They feel expensive. The way that they turn, it's very smooth. And when you mute the microphone, The lights on this just go to a nice red, but it's the way in which they transition from white to red. It looks very classy. I very much like that, Astro, so very, very well done. There is also the selection between your Dolby Audio and just standard stereo on this, and then you can choose between any presets that you put on through the command center, which we may touch on later in the video. But it is a nice piece of kit. It feels expensive, it feels weighty, it's very simple to use. Like I said, the choice between surround and not, and then your different presets here. There's also a daisy chain, so you can have another one of these connected if both people want to wear headsets, so you're not bugging the rest of the house or wherever it is that you might be. Which again, that's kind of cool, and we'll touch on that again later as well. But in terms of design and build, I very much like these. Other than this rattly sound, they feel very, very expensive. They feel premium and they feel very, very good. But there you are. Let's move on.
So I thought we'd take a bit of a look at the ASTRO Command Center for the MIXAMP Pro. Now I am recording this through the A40's microphone as well. I just figured this is the best way, so at least you can get a feel for it. Now, as we come into the command center, you can see that we're already in the equalizer settings, and you can see here the preset library. So I can go in and I could change the preset for Astro, for instance. So I could change this to there, let's just say that, and then I can sync that to the device, which is in fact linking it to the MIXAMP itself. Now once it's in there, I can then adjust these. So I could set this to a different version of Astro if I wanted to, by clicking there, adjusting this, and syncing the device. I wouldn't do that, however. I do quite like the different ones, and you can cycle through these. You can have the 4 different presets actually on the MIXAMP itself, and you can cycle through them on the fly. You don't need to do anything else. All you need to do is synchronize these settings to the device itself. Now if we come over here, we can see the microphone settings. Now there's not a great deal you can change on this. You can adjust the side tone. It's where when you can hear yourself speaking in real time, so you can hear just how loud you actually are, and you can change the mic level as well. This one for some reason I have on full. Here's good though, the noise gate. Now there are several different noise gate. Now noise gate is something that will exclude outside noise. It'll get rid of any outside noise coming into the microphone itself. Now if we clicked on tournament, for instance, that would be for a very crowded space, so there'll be lots of other voices going on, so the noise gate would be quite aggressive. It would only try to pick up your voice and your voice alone, but sometimes it can really nip the way that your voice actually sounds. Then you've got home, which is just for the home environment, a standard playing. There might be other people around, so it does try to cut out some of that background noise. And then you have night, and when you do hover over these, it does pop up and say what this is. Now this is the least aggressive of the noise gate settings. It's very lightly gated, allowing for quiet speech, which is ideal for late night gaming sessions. I have mine set to streaming. Now streaming just allows all of my vocals to come through, but it does allow background noise as well. If I lightly type away on the keyboard, I'm sure you can hear that through the microphone on this setting, whereas if I had it on tournament you probably couldn't. Now this is interesting. This is the stream port aspect of the command center. Now in here you can actually change the audio settings for your stream in real time. Now you could do this on the software you're probably using, such as OBS, so I'm not entirely sure why it's here, but it's a good to have, I suppose. So I kind of like that. You can change all of the levels for each of the audio inputs, which is kind of cool. I like that. But there we are, that's pretty much it. That is the command center. Cool. Now the drivers on this are 40mm open back drivers, so the soundstage is really quite broad, and the frequency response is just a standard 20 to 20,000 Hz, so nothing out of the ordinary there. However, the impedance, or the nominal impedance rather, for these is 48 ohms, which, when considering the standard bearer for that is 35, the additional power is definitely noticeable. The 7.1 on these is not there for audio reproduction. It's definitely not accurate to that. It just adds a lot of reverb that sound quite electronic, but it is sort of the cheat mode for FPS games. You can pinpoint locations quite well. The standard stereo does sound very impressive for single player, like scenic style games. Music and movies, not that great, but that's not what this headset is intended for. All in all, very good audio. I liked it a lot.
So what's in the box? Well, quite a few things when you consider that you do get the headset and you do get the MIXAMP. Away from that, we get the obligatory paperwork. Some very nice looking things from Astro, all very lovely. I'm sure there's lots of important information in there. Right, so in terms of the cables, first up we get this. Now it's kind of a long cable. This is the 3.5mm jack that connects you from the MIXAMP itself to the headset. Now that simply comes out of the front, which is convenient. And then you simply plug this into the bottom of the headset itself, like so. And then you have your control functions here. So your mute switch is literally just in line. That's the only controller that you have on this headset. There's nothing else on the ears other than the microphone. Now, all of the cables, I'll say it right off the bat with this one, are not braided. All of them are this rubberized texture. Now, they do feel very durable, but at the same time, they don't feel very, very expensive. But I can tell that they will be durable just because they're Astro, and that's a standard thing. But I would kind of like braided cables at this price. We also get this, the optical cable. Now, this thing is around 1.5 meters long, so plenty of room for you to get from your PC to the back of the actual MIXAMP itself. And again, rubberized cable. Then we've got this. Now this is USB Type-C. Again, it's 1.5 meters long, so it gives you plenty of flex, especially if you're connecting via PlayStation, because you can't use this. You would definitely need to use this to connect the MIXAMP, and then from the MIXAMP to the headset, nice and easy. And then this is the little weird daisy chain cable. Now, I've never gamed using a headset with anyone next to me equally wearing a headset, especially the very same headset, but in an instance where you do, you can actually use this daisy chain cable to connect 2 of these MIXAMPs together. You can even get more from looking at this. You can fit a cable in either side. Now this could go to another MIXAMP, and again you've got another daisy chain cable there to go out to another one, and so on and so on and so on. But that would be a very expensive listening experience, but all kind of cool. It's not so much the standard box setup. The actual box itself and the way that you unbox this is all very good. It's a nice experience. It feels very expensive. So well done with that, Astro. And this is all very nice, all very expensive feeling goodies, I suppose. But there we are. Wonderful. So in conclusion, do I feel that the headset and the MIXAMP Pro combined is worth the 250 USD that Astro is asking for this? Yeah, I kinda do. Yes, you could probably get a better experience with your own amp and DAC, but the convenience of this is exquisite. The design is wonderful. I like the way the dials move. It feels expensive. I like the connectivity. It annoys me that it doesn't have a pass-through. Fair enough, but that's it. Other than that, this is a very nice bit of kit. I like that you can sync it with the command center, upload your own presets and have them stored on the MIXAMP itself. That's all very good. The headset, I like the modularity of it. I like that everything connects with magnets. I like the ergonomic ear cups, and I very much adore the very wonderfully built little bit of aluminium tubing here. I like that it's exposed at the top, and I like that I can see the coiled wire in it. I'm saying I like a lot because I do like this headset. I prefer the A40 because I quite like the convenience of wireless, but all in all, this is a high-end headset. Make no mistake of that. For gaming, this is tippity top. Now in terms of music, general content consumption, it's okay, but it's not great. But for gaming specifically, this is very, very good. Now, I will have an affiliate link for this just in the description below. Now, if you do buy anything through that link, I will get a small kickback, but I do put that back into the channel. It's quite expensive when I'm buying all of these things myself. Now, if you did like the video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. And if you want me to review a very specific headset, let me know. I will try and get it. There are people asking me for certain headsets, and I've not forgotten. I will be getting them. It's just difficult at this moment in time to find anything in stock. But thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to do so, and why not hit the notification bell. But yeah, there we are. I hope you have a wonderful noon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Goodbye.